Hi parents, it's a new term, it's an exciting time of the year, it's a time when we can help our kids to set their expectations in a different way. We don't want our kids going back into school at the start of a new term in the same way they left. If they left feeling demoralised or a bit lower in confidence, that's not the mindset that's going to set them up for success. So we want to help our kids to start the year well, and let's have a look at how we can do that. First thing as parents is we want to be chatting with our child before they go back to school. Not one conversation, but a couple of conversations. And this conversation needs to lead our child through the idea that this is a new term, okay? You are not the same person that you were 6 months ago or a year ago. That your child is someone who has new skills and new levels of confidence. And even if they weren't reflected in that child's grades, you are not who you were. You're someone new. Something else to communicate to our kids is that our child is not their choices. So if last year our child made some choices to really slack off or whatever, they're the choices our child has made, but our child is not their choices. In the same way, our child is not their reputation, okay? Reputations are a byproduct of our actions, but if we want to have a different reputation this year at school, we just have different actions and you'll have a different reputation. We need to help our kids set some goals, and not just short-term goals, but some longer-term goals as well. Often our kids give up dreaming of the future. They give up thinking, oh, one day I'll be an astronaut, and they settle for one day I'll work at a supermarket. You know, they just settle. Or even worse, they don't even plan that far ahead because it looks a bit scary. So we want to help our kids set some dreams. You know, if they love working with people, there's so many jobs where you can help people and so many ways you can contribute to the world by looking after people. If you love computers, there's ways that you can help people and there's ways that you can contribute that way. So we want our kids to be thinking longer term, setting their sights on some goals, and that comes out of conversations with you and I as parents. Parents often ask me, what can I do at home to help? Well, this is the ideal time to set some new routines, okay? It's not going to work to say to our child halfway through the term, you know, from now on we're only going to watch TV after you've got your homework done. It's not going to work. You're going to have the battle and the drama, but you're not going to get the result. Whereas at the start of the term, that's when you set those new routines up. So even before they've gone back to school, to be talking through this term, here's what we're going to do. We're doing this because we care about you. You don't have to like it, but that's the way it's going to be. And so that way when the child goes back to school and they come home on that first day and the new routine is in place, it's not a surprise. You don't need to have a battle. You're not taking new ground. You're just defending ground that you've already established. Something else that as parents we can do for our kids is we can have them set up a calendar somewhere public, like on the fridge or somewhere where people are going to see it, that has all the due dates for things. So as they find out, oh, I've got a maths test in 3 weeks, it's on this date, they can put that on the calendar, or there's an English assignment and it's due in next Friday, and they can see it, so they can easily count down how many days there are until things are due and they can prioritise. Really important to get that calendar happening, because without it our kids are often sort of approaching things a bit sort of haphazard, randomly, whereas what we really want is our kids to be approaching things systematically and with a plan. Parents often want to know, how can I get the school to give my child the best possible deal? How can I get the best out of the school? Well, at the start of this new term, now's a good time to book an appointment with your child's teacher to sit down and have a chat about how things have been going in say the last 6 or 8 months, and then what we could really do together as parent and school to sort of help our child get back on top of things. So don't just turn up, because then the teacher's only going to have half their mind in the game and the other half on what they have to do this afternoon. If you've booked an appointment, you've got the teacher's full attention, and chat them through what's been happening, you know, in the last 6 months. What's been happening with your child? What's their study habits like? You know, what are their abilities like? Where are they falling down? What are the distractions? And sort of come to them as the parent going, look, here's the situation. What do you think we could be doing at home to support you? And is there anything else that I can tell you that's going to make it so as a school you can know my child better? That's going to go over well. It sets up a good platform with the school. Finally, with the school, be really clear with the teacher that if your child is not doing their best, or if they're not trying, or if they're not organised, you want the teacher to hold your child accountable for that, and you'll support the teacher if they put consequences in place for your child. Because what that does is it tells the teacher that this is a proactive parent, this is a parent who's going to support me, and if I put time into this child, it's going to go somewhere, and that's going to give you the best result from the school. Last thing to know is that as parents we all beat ourselves up over the fact that, oh, you know, I don't spend enough time with my child, I don't do this for my child, it's all somehow my fault as a parent that my child isn't performing optimally. You know what? Your child is accountable for their own choices, and when they have a big success, you don't take credit for that, it's their success. In the same way, if your child is stumbling in a few ways, you can't take responsibility for that. You can put some things in place, and it's good to do that, but in your own heart, don't take on board that it's somehow your fault. You know, like, we learn as parents all the time, and be willing to support yourself and your spouse, and just know that you're doing the best you can. And I'm yet to meet a parent who's not doing the best they can, so let's go easy on ourselves. And one last thing is that the email address at the bottom of this screen, if you have any questions at all, send me an email. I'm always happy to chat. Anything I can do to help, I'll see what I can do. Cheers.